This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 85 of the Wisdom by WESA show on the Horse Radio Network. This is Mike Donnell.
I'm Casey Wilbanks-Coletti.
And this is Sophia Aguila. Welcome to Wisdom by WESA on the Horse Radio Network.
This podcast is brought to you by the Western and English Sales Association, WESA, which provides the world's largest trade events for retailers, manufacturers, and sales representatives of the equestrian industry. In this podcast, we feature exclusive interviews with noteworthy Western and English personalities, retailers, and exhibitors who you've always wanted to talk to. Don't miss out on all the news from manufacturers and retailers in the equine industry. The exhibitor contract will be available tomorrow. Sophia is here, and we're going to talk about some info that she had shared about the contract 2 weeks ago, but she's here today, and I'd like to know if you can share how long exhibitors have to sign up.
Yes, so the contract deadline is May 16th. So all the members, that is the company members, the individual members, the associate members, and the affiliate members, have 6 weeks to fill out the contract. And again, the WESA memberships vary depending on what really suits the company's best. So, for example, some exhibitors send multiple employees to the trade show as sales reps. Others keep the membership in just one name. And yet again, others have some showrooms on other floors besides the 14th. So that is why we have many memberships available. And all exhibitors have to be members first, and then they have 6 weeks to sign up until May 16th.
And how about the buyers?
The buyers, so all qualified retail stores and their employees, have to wait until May 1st until they can sign up for the August trade show, but they do have more time to sign up. We open the advance registration in May and then give them up until August 8th to sign up. And that is the pre-registration window, which means that we will actually mail the badges if they sign up during that time instead of having to be in line at the trade show and sign up in person. So that will make things a little bit easier for buyers if they do sign up within that advanced registration window.
In 1959, Clinton Murphy and two sons, Alan and L. Wayne, opened their first ranch and western store. Rather than call it Murphy's, they used their first initials, CAL, to name their new venture. From one store in Idaho, the company has grown to 30 stores throughout Idaho, Utah, Nevada, and Arizona, and significantly broadened its product line from just ag products to a wide range of household and work products. Marketing Director Jason Miller joins us today to talk about the company. Hey, Jason Miller, thank you for joining us on Wisdom by WESA.
Thank you. My pleasure.
You've got the store, starting back in Idaho from one store founded by Clinton Murphy and his two sons, but they didn't call it Murphy's, and they used their initials to Cal Ranch stores, and from there you've grown from one store in Idaho to 30 stores across 4 states. I've mentioned to you when I talked to you earlier, I'm always interested that some of these very, very successful retailing stores and others were started by families, started by brothers and fathers and sons, and they put blood, sweat, and tears into it, and I think it's a testament to them that it's still going. But why don't you chat a little bit with us and give us kind of the footprint of where Cal Ranchwear stores are these days?
Yeah, for sure. As you mentioned, it was a father and his two sons back in 1959 who moved out here to Idaho from the Midwest. They loved it out here and decided to start up a little farm store. The first store was 3,000 square feet, and after the success of 1 year, they doubled their stores. They found a new location and doubled their store size to 6,000 square feet. And a year or two later, they expanded to a second store just up the road here in Rexburg, Idaho. And a few years later, they started expanding into Idaho a little bit more. And over the last few years, we've experienced some great growth as well. Probably the last 12 years or so, we've like you mentioned before, we went down into Utah in 1998 and expanded into Nevada a few years later. 2012, we expanded down into Arizona as well. And in just a couple of months here, our 30th store will be in Reno, Nevada. So we're really excited about that.
Well, it's a great run for a concept that the Murphys had way back then. But I'm sure that things are changing as you go into other states and as things come along. You've added new product lines. You've added a breadth of things. You now have an online business as well. But I'd like to go back. We are basically celebrating 2 years since our country was shut down. I know you were considered essential, but let's talk a bit about how Cal Ranchware approached and worked through and now is thriving after COVID.
Yeah, that was, I think, a shock for the entire country. Just it seemed like overnight, the world kind of came to a standstill. A lot of uncertainty, certainly a lot of uncertainty on our end as well. And we decided just to try to stay the course the best that we could. And early on, again, we were deemed an essential business by the powers that be, and which is great. We sell, a lot of feed supplies for animals, including medicine for animals as well. And so we were deemed essential, and we were able to keep all of our doors open. And we tried to, I think, like many businesses, just tried to keep as clean and sanitary and take all the things that we were supposed to do, that we were asked to do, and keep our doors open in large part. Just kind of move through and support our local communities the best that we could during that troubling time. So.
Well, and I think, supporting those local ranchers and farmers and people in town. One thing that I find interesting is you have such a broad range of products. I mean, the name Ranch Store, is not a misnomer, but it really doesn't imply the different types of products that you're carrying, and you may be carrying different products in different stores or different states. But why don't you kind of talk a little bit about the product mix that you've developed? I'm certain the Murphys did not envision it when they opened the business.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I'm the vice president of marketing here at Cal Ranch, and one of the biggest challenges I have, I feel like, is explaining that we're much more than just a farm and ranch store, and it's pretty evident when you walk into our store. We've grown a lot since the 3,000 square foot store that was started back in 1959. Our typical footprint is typically around 50 to 52,000 square feet is kind of our sweet spot. And we do. Someone called us the target of the farm and ranch category, because we just carry a little bit of everything. It's funny. I hear a number of people tell us they love to go on date night with their spouse or significant other to our stores, because both husband and wife just love to come in and just wander around this store. It's one of those stores that everyone can agree upon. You mentioned too, our clothing area, for example, has grown a lot through the year. That typically occupies, about 30 to 40% of our store will be our clothing area in there. And we carry everything. We talked about the feed, we got automotive, hardware, medicine for cows and animals. Even we have a few of our stores even have some groomers inside of them as well, so that you can bring your animal or your dog in and get them groomed too. So pretty wide variety. Yes.
Well, I think if we had one here, Casey and her husband would use it to go on date night. I'm sure, because they like to buy. They like to buy all that stuff. But Casey, you know a little bit about this, but I don't know if you're as intrigued as I am with the variety of things, and especially because you're in the smaller markets. You're not in the huge cities where this may be the only place within miles they can actually get some of those products.
Yes, absolutely. We kind of have a sweet spot in those kind of mid to smaller size cities, and oftentimes it's a perfect marriage between us and and the people of the city, they love to come to us for the wide variety of items that we have, and we love to be there and really being in support of those communities.
Casey, what would be the first thing you'd look for if you and Casey, your husband is Casey too. I call him Casey Square. What would be the first thing you'd look for if you and Casey took a date night to a Cal Ranchwear store?
Well, first of all, I think certainly we would go on a double date with you and your wife, Kathy. But we'd go from there once we got there. It sounds really romantic. But anyways, no, I love it. Obviously, it certainly is a one-stop shop, especially for somebody like me. I could get it all. I could get all the stuff and things for the road, for traveling, my horse, my cows, myself, my clothes, everything. So yes, definitely a niche. But when I think of the job of marketing that seems to be a very intense project, because a lot of times we talk to brands here and, they're just marketing a specific brand, but you have multitude of products to market. So I'd love a little insight on just the route you take with your marketing.
Yeah, again, just trying to educate people about all the items we have. And if you look, from a fellow marketer out there, if you look at some of our videos that we produce, or the bottom of our ads, it says Cal Ranch, a ranch and home store, and blank. And in our videos, we kind of have a rotating thing that kind of spins around there that has a list of all of our departments, and it kind of lands on whatever department that we want to highlight, either in that video or in the ad or whatever else. But trying to reaffirm with the customers that, man, we have a wide variety of products here. Customers who aren't familiar with this, we want them to know that we have more than just farm and ranch supplies. We have a whole lot more that they would be interested in.
What platforms for marketing do you use? And specifically, I guess, also talking about social media, what are your go-tos?
Yeah, we try to go to everything. We talked about COVID a little bit. We were huge into print ads and just kind of flirted with digital ads prior to COVID. Well, we were inside of COVID just a couple of months, and we made the decision to go to all digital ads, with the exception of Black Friday. We still print the Black Friday ad. So those still go out. We typically run about 18 of those per year. And then, from the digital marketing standpoint, we do display ads, retargeting, Facebook, and some Instagram, and a little bit of Pinterest as well. So we hit all those channels.
Nice. Just kind of just looking over your website right now, one of the first things I see is a virtual gift card, which awesome, especially thinking about, as you mentioned, during COVID, nobody has to go shopping anywhere, but can send gifts virtually through here. That's a nice addition.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and during that same time, during COVID too, we also wanted to go through a no contact option as well for customers. And so we quickly gathered the team together and started Cal Pickup, and that allows customers to simply just put their order online, or even call in their order if they would like, and they can just pull up out front of our store and call the number, and we will bring the items out to them. And it's a great concept. The idea stuck, and we've improved it. It's a great channel for us now as well.
Sure. It seems like that has stuck around. Even now, let's say, knock on wood, we're on the other side maybe of COVID. It's definitely one of those extra add-ons, customer service, that I think people love, even despite COVID.
They do. I agree. Customers seem to love that. And, oftentimes too, if you maybe have the lady of the house, or even some younger teenagers that need to buy some large bags of feed, it's a great option for them as well, where they could pull the car or truck up on the sidewalk, and then we'll have our associates come out and deliver it and throw it right into the back of their car or the truck. So it's a great option.
Not mentioning any names, but I have a daughter that's 5, and it makes shopping difficult sometimes. So pulling up to the car really helps them. Not saying she's bad, but anyways.
Yes.
When I think about the relationship between a store like yours and being a member of WESA, obviously huge for you guys. And I'm not sure if you're involved much with the buying, but would love to hear about any market research, et cetera, before going to a WESA trade show.
Yeah, so I mean, I work with those buyers pretty frequently, and yeah, we're always looking for buying opportunities and what the trends are out there. We're always searching for those. I think the company has a pretty open dialogue that way too. So everyone's kind of looking for those trends, and going to the WESA show obviously helps with that as well, and finding out what the trends are and what other people are buying, and that really works well for us.
I think I can speak on behalf of myself, Mike, and Sophia, and everybody involved with WESA. It's stores like yours that are just amazing, and it takes all three legs of the bar stool to make this work. But we appreciate the brands, we appreciate stores like yours, and as I mentioned, you carry every product, and so I know that the brands would appreciate the fact that you guys choose WESA to come and shop at.
Oh yeah, thank you. I think we got a great partnership and relationship with those guys. I don't know how many years we've been through that, but it's been a lot, and it's been a great partnership with them for sure.
I have a question, because we are on the threshold of the grand opening of a new location for your store, and I'm just curious to see, what are you going to plan? What's going to take place? What are people going to see? How do you open a brand new facility?
Well, yes, that's always a challenge, moving into a new facility like we're doing. And you mentioned that's coming up into a new one down here in Sholo, Arizona. And so first of all, just the move itself is a challenge. Our operations folks work, and they pull people from. We have a traveling group that kind of helps and goes and gets everything set up once the building is purchased and renovated. And they'll go in and set all the product. And we'll literally, we kind of pride ourselves in only shutting down the stores for one day. So literally on Saturday night, we'll shut the old location down. We're down on Sunday, and Monday morning at 8:00, we're up and selling in the new store. So it's a crazy weekend. Everyone gets involved, even people here in the support center. Oftentimes we'll run and help with those moves as well when we can, and get it all moved over there. So it's a monumentous task to do that. So regarding the grand opening, if that's part of your question too, for these grand openings, they're generally 3-day events, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have a great relationship with some of our vendors, and they come down and will help us and support us in these as well. We give giveaways to the first 50 customers who walk through the door. Our sporting goods is a huge brand, a huge line for us. And so we give away a gun every single day. We'll have a drawing for the guns. And we also give away an additional prize. It's a big store prize, such as a Harvest Right donates a freezer, Liberty, a freeze dryer, Liberty Safe donates a large gun safe as well that we'll give away. Coleman donates a Coleman mini bike, and we'll give that away on a day as well. Camp Chef gives us a grill to give away, and so we just have a phenomenal relationship with our vendors, and it speaks a lot to the relationship that these guys help us to make these things work and get customers excited to come into the store.
Well, and now you're going to plan to do probably the same thing in Reno when you open that store.
Yep, we'll have a very similar playbook for sure when we open up in Reno as well. And we haven't fully announced it yet, but I'll let you guys in. The first to know too is we're planning on moving down into Tucson, Arizona as well later this year. So we're excited for the growth opportunities heading our way.
Well, I think that's great. I know you called me earlier. You want to catch a plane to go off and do this. So I'm glad we had a chance to chat with you. It's always great to talk to retailers who are excited about what they do, especially those who are in a growth mode in this day and age where we are coming out of a couple of years of pain and suffering economically. It's great to talk to a company that is on the move and growing, and you sound very, very optimistic about the future of your company and the ranch market in general.
We are, Mike. We're very optimistic about the future. We think the Farm and Ranch channel is great to be a part of. we love being part of these communities. We talked earlier too about, the supporting of the kids, and we really feel like the 4-H and FFA groups are the future leaders of the country and of our communities. And we really try to reach out and support them. And in fact, I didn't mention that, even on these grand opening events that we have, we invite the local 4-H groups to come out and man a hot dog stand. We supply all the supplies and everything for them. In fact, even give them an above and beyond donation as well. And all the proceeds go to them. We have gift wrapping around the holidays where these 4-H groups will come in. We try to support the FFA programs and the junior rodeo, high school rodeo programs. We feel like there's a bright future ahead, and it's really because of the youth. And boy, we love to support them.
Well, and on that note, I think we will thank you very much for being on our show and let you take a deep breath and go catch a plane.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. We enjoyed it.
All right. Take care.
The show notes and links from today's show can be found at the website wisdombywesa.com. And of course, we'd like to hear your feedback. If you have some, there is a contact link on that website.
The Wisdom by WESA show will be published on the 15th and 30th of every month. You can listen on most of your favorite podcast players, and you can also listen on the Horse Radio Network app on your iOS or Android phone. You just search Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and super easy to use. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Thanks for listening to the Wisdom by WESA podcast. WESA, where the industry meets.